Hello, it's Tracy, Giddy for Scrapbooking, and I have some layouts to share. I have tried some more to do editing I use Windows Movie Maker, which is what I used on my old computer that crashed. And now I have that on the new computer that has Windows 8. And I am struggling with it. And Windows 8, I'm also struggling because it loses files. It's very strange. It loses the path. And it's a long sob story. But I decided that I'm going to just do some layout shares here until perhaps I'm able to. My techie guru son, who is fantastic with computers, eventually I think is going to make us a computer, and I will have him put Windows 7 on that. But he's super busy because he's in school and has a job and is currently in marching band season right now, so it's just crazy. He doesn't even have a minute to himself. So until then, I'm going to do layout shares. So here is a layout that I just did, and this was using the Studio Calico September Kit, which is to a large extent, well, a lot of the material in it was my mind's eye. So this background, the white cardstock, is a Studio Calico cardstock. And then I cut each picture into 4x4 squares. These are pictures of when my third boy was born. And he is now 14. So these are old pictures. And then I cut out a square of one of my mind's eye papers there and this cloud paper here. And so I did this like a grid, and it's a very simple layout. I painted in the background just with some good old craft paint, and I used like a teal color. At first I just had teal and white, and then it was too much teal and it was clashing with all the blues in the picture. There's blue there, and it just wasn't working. So then I went back over it with a midnight blue, kind of a wash of the midnight blue in a lot of areas. And then, but before that I had actually already splattered using the midnight, and I also did the teal, but you can't see it, and white. I just kind of went crazy and had fun with it. And then I painted over, even way up here, I painted over the splatters, but I liked it. I like that look. It looks, I don't know, I like it. So, and then I had those colors going, and then this paper here has this yellow in it. So I decided to pull the yellow throughout. And that's why I added these buttons, these two buttons. These are my mind's eye buttons from the Lost and Found collection. This is I think it's jelly bean soup. Is that right? I think it is. Corrugated shapes. And I painted it white. And I only did one coat, so it came out pretty muted white. But I like it. I didn't want to paint it another coat. I didn't want it to be too white, which would have looked good too, but anyway. And then I put this on there with a pop dot, one of those real thick ones from the dollar store. And then, so I had done the one button there. I did 3 down here. And I wanted the cloud paper to show, so that's why I left a space with it. And then I did this yellow sticker to bring more of the yellow in here and here. These are from my stash. And then I used this glitter. That's actually from the August Studio Calico Kit. I believe that's it. These are that's my Kyle, who's now 18, and my Matthew, who is 16, and this is my Chad, who is 14 now. So these were obviously from a long time ago. This is Papa, that's my dad, and then that's my mom, and my husband's mom with Chatty when he was born. They were in the hospital with us. And my water broke at like 10 at night. And then I did not have him until, I believe, like 12 or 1 or something like that the next day. It was he came in with a wallop, that little critter. But I still love him. I did forget to mention I outlined here. And then this, love this. This is actually a paper from the Studio Calico September Kit that had, you know, it's one of those papers that has a bunch of cutouts that you can use. And so I cut that one out, and then I outlined it, and then I outlined the arrow. So that's that layout, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see some more detail on it. That's that. Oh, and I did add that arrow too that I got from 2 Peas in a Bucket. And there's that. I did hand sew those buttons so that they would be all the way sewn in. And then here you can see my paint a little closer. And I like it on this type of a background because it shows the texture of the background of the cardstock. And I love that. I love that look. I like a lot of different textures in my scrapbooking, so, which is why I use a lot of different stuff, paint and whatever I can find to throw in there. Okay, and then this layout is going to actually go next to this page, so this one's a lot more simple. I didn't go too haywire with it, but I used the same paints here in my splattering, and I had done some over here, but when I laid the paper down it doesn't show, but that's all right. And then I did the same thing with the 4x4 pictures, but this time I did more 4x4s of the paper, and some of them I cut off. So the theme, you know, the overall look pretty much still goes. And then I did this little high here, and that sort of pulled from the buttons being sewn on. And then Sweet Baby for my title. It's really Hello Sweet Baby. And then I added this. Actually, the truth is that I did this sequence first, is from the Studio Calico August kit on this layout, and then I realized, oh, I'm going to add that to the other layout so that they tie in. And then I outlined my pages here, and this is a cutout from that same sheet that I used a piece in the previous layout. And right here is where I'm going to put my journaling, but I haven't figured out what I want to write yet, so I'm waiting, and I have some thoughts on it. I want to talk about Papa in this layout and put it in my son's book, because Papa has had a special spot in his heart for this particular son. I mean, my dad's awesome and loves all my kids wholeheartedly and goes to everything that they have, and et cetera, but he actually had Chad over, and he spent the night a few nights, and I think because he was the third boy, and my dad is one of 5 children, and he was the 4th boy, he was the youngest. So I think at this time, when I only had 3 kids and Chad was the youngest of 3 boys, he just had a soft spot for him, because he knew it's kind of a hard challenge to be in, to grow up the youngest and have to try and always be keeping up. So somehow I would like to put something about that in that little tiny square. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's why I haven't done my journaling yet. So, and then this is the last layout that I'm going to show today. Oh, you know, I didn't really do a close-up of this one, but I don't think it's necessary. It's a pretty simple layout. So I hope you're not upset with me that I'm not doing a close-up. Okay. This layout took me a while. I did the gesso in a screen or a stencil, and I got this little package of a bunch of stencils from Walmart, believe it or not. And was it only 3? Seems like there's more stencils, but this is the package of them. Has animal print and stars, different designs. I wasn't really meaning to show you this, but this is the heart one that I used. And I did gesso on these, and I did it here, here, and here. There's actually a lot more of it, but and then I came back with, after it dried, with watercolor, and I watercolored over it, and I knew I was doing this picture, and because my mother-in-law has a yellow blouse on, I used yellows throughout. And then I splattered this craft paint, which is like a turquoise, kind of a green aqua color. And then this, most of this stuff is from the Studio Calico. Yeah, September Kit again. For some reason I was thinking for a minute that I had used a different kit for this, but it's the September Kit. So, which one of the reasons why I'm confused on that is because I haven't killed the August kit yet, and I moved on to the September kit, but it was because it went with the pictures I was working on. So, anywho, okay, so these 2 papers came from the kit. Oh, the cork hearts, oh, I only have 2. Those came from the August kit. And then I have the You and Me, which is, again, I think that's jelly bean soup. Painted those white, and then I sprayed them with Heidi Swap ink, can't remember the name of those, in gold. And then I also sprayed these in gold. These are wood veneer hearts that I have, that I got from Etsy. And then this is a Studio Calico cork arrow, and I did that arrow because I had the heart in cork. And I love I was going to say juxtaposition, but that's how it would lay out on a paper. That's not the right word. I love the contradiction, I guess, of this shiny, smooth, and sparkly next to, and even on, the sort of hardness, or the roughness, rather is a better word, of the cork. I love that. The 2 of those. That contrast right next to each other. I really like that. Okay, so this is vellum. That's a Studio Calico vellum. And then I just have the 2 pieces of paper cut out here. And originally I did all this. I had the gold. This is from the Studio Calico September Kit as well. And I only had the splatters of this sort of aqua green turquoisey color, and it wasn't working. I was regretting even having splattered it. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to put some washi tape. And so I already had this gold washi tape, gold polka dot washi tape there, but I found this green one that matches it perfectly, and put a strip here, and I loved it. So then I went all the way. So now I have it showing in 3 different places. So that worked. To me, it tied in that green color. And then I have the 3 hearts. I used my punch to punch those out. And then I just did, what do you call those? The glue. What do you call those? Stickles. Stickles in platinum. I did. There they are, little guys. I did 3 little dots there, 3 right here, and 3 right there. So it's just a little sparkly, not too sparkly. So this is, the layout's a little bit feminine, and that's a baby boy, because that's my chatty, but I like it though, because it's with Nana. So, and I'm going to figure out a way to do some journaling and hide it, I think, because I can't write on this rough paper. My writing is already terrible, and then when I write on rough paper, it's just not good. Oops, sorry, I shook you a little bit there. So I'm gonna zoom in here. There's that. You can see the gesso and how I painted over it with the watercolor. The splatters are not watercolor, those are craft paint. And there's my You and Me title. You can see the gold. I hope you can see it good. And more of the gesso. I love that gesso. And that is just, I stacked 2 hearts that I had sprayed. I think I said that I sprayed those with Heidi Swap. And I put the cork arrow on top. And that was it. It's really, it took a while just because of the gesso and the painting, but it's really rather a simple layout. Oh, and then I did cut about 1/4 of an inch going around the paper, and then I matted it onto this chevron yellow paper, and that's on my mind's eye paper. Cut and paste. So, and so is that heart, I think, is on my, I don't know. I don't know the 2 papers. So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. And I'm thinking of doing a tour of my craft area because it's teeny, teeny, tiny, and everybody does tours of their room. And I'm thinking that maybe I could help people out sharing my tiny, tiny craft area space and how I organize it and I'm able to fit stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.